guys, so it is February 1st, and obviously we did not get a Nintendo Direct. In my last video, I was talking about how potentially we could get a Direct in February, and we tried to narrow down when that might actually happen, because the Nintendo Directs in the past that we got in February, at least over the last couple of years, have happened on a Wednesday. We were narrowing it down to potentially happening on a Wednesday. The first Wednesday we had in February is, of course, today, February 1st. And there's an investors meeting for Nintendo on February 7th, which is a Tuesday. It's next Tuesday. So the only Wednesday before that investors meeting was today. So we sort of thought maybe we'd get a Direct on February 1st, but it was just a guess. Beyond just traditionally usually getting Nintendo Directs in February, I think we've gotten one the past like 4 or 5 years in a row, there was also a good amount of potential evidence piling up that could suggest a Direct might happen pretty soon. NSU ID numbers for both Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom had popped up on the Canadian eShop webpage, suggesting both those games may be taking pre-orders soon. The Advance Wars Remaster also started showing up in the Mexican Amazon page. It was listed there, so again, looks like it might be pre-ordered or able to be sold soon. Like I said before, Nintendo has that investors meeting on February 7th, and it seems like they'd probably like to be able to tell their investors about new things they have planned for this year. And today, February 1st, is 100 days until the release of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, probably Nintendo's biggest game this year. And beyond a few trailers that we've gotten over the years, they really haven't shown too much of that game off. It's definitely time to start the hype train. Well, now there are new rumors popping up for a potential date for when this February Nintendo Direct might actually happen. Rumor, Nintendo Direct supposedly happening on February 7th. The moderators on the Gaming Leaks subreddit have apparently verified a site member who's supposedly shared proof that a Nintendo Direct presentation will be happening Tuesday, the 7th of February. The Reddit post has been removed, but it was basically saying that mods have seen some proof of a February 7th Nintendo Direct. This update reads, Update, Reddit mods have now removed the initial mod-approved post saying user contacted with valid proof of contact with employee for company working closely with Nintendo. Employee was asked if there will be a Direct on the 7th of February and replied, confirmed. So that's basically it. Apparently someone works for some company that works heavily with Nintendo, and they told some of the Reddit moderators that it was confirmed there was a Nintendo Direct happening on the 7th. Now, the interesting thing about February 7th is that that's the same day as the investors meeting for Nintendo. I believe we have gotten Nintendo Directs on the same date as an investors meeting. Before, I was guessing at today, February 1st, is a good day to do a Nintendo Direct because it would be a week before the investors meeting. But having a Direct happen the same day as an investors meeting could also make perfect sense at hyping up things for Nintendo in the future and get the investors happy about what Nintendo is doing this year. And of course, with time zones, it's very possible something could happen with the investors meeting happening one day and technically the Direct happening another, or something like that. Time zones can always throw off when exactly Directs are happening here in the United States and when they're actually happening in Japan. I really hope we do get a February 7th Nintendo Direct. I'm very, very excited for Tears of the Kingdom and just itching to see some more of that game. And I know if we get a Direct, we'll almost certainly get a lot of information there. There's also been some other new things, some new evidence pointing to the potential of getting some Nintendo game news soon. Pre-orders for Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp have shown up on GameFly as well now, so that's another place that appears to be gearing up to start selling Advance Wars. Advance Wars had gotten delayed last year. It was supposed to come out in April of last year due to world events, which most likely was referring to the war with Russia and Ukraine. But it seems Nintendo is now gearing up to actually sell this game finally. And I was sent this image of supposedly a GameStop that has boxes with Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp on the shelves under a Reserve Now sign, implying that GameStop is probably also getting ready to start selling this game. It could, of course, potentially just get announced on Twitter or something that they're going to sell the game, but since we're already kind of waiting for a Nintendo Direct, since Tears of the Kingdom comes out and we haven't really seen too much on that game, and since we usually get February Nintendo Directs, it does seem more likely that the Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp will be announced as being sold soon in a Direct itself. Also, some people apparently spotted Nintendo briefly publishing a video about Nintendo Switch game vouchers. Nintendo used to do game vouchers, but they stopped doing that in North America, but apparently they could be coming back. Nintendo took that YouTube video down very quickly, but people did get a screenshot of the thumbnail of it. Vouchers were a way for Nintendo fans to save a little bit of money buying digital Nintendo games. So seemingly that offer is coming back for Nintendo Switch. Pretty cool, and I'd also think that this might be something that a Nintendo Direct might talk about. The other big news is in Nintendo Direct we are not getting this year, and that is E3. Exclusive, IGN has learned from multiple sources that PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo won't be part of E3 2023. So sad to hear that happen. We haven't had E3 in a while. Last year we didn't get one, and mostly that was due to like COVID and pandemic stuff, but it seems PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo won't be returning this year, even though an E3 is supposedly going to happen. Without the big three companies, though, I don't know what E3 is going to even really be like this year. Is it just going to be like Konami and indie games? I have no idea. I'd say maybe Nintendo will still do a Nintendo Direct around the same time, but without feeling like they need to compete with the other two big companies, PlayStation and Xbox, they might just opt to not do anything. That's what they did last year. Also, IGN further wrote this. IGN understands that Nintendo and Xbox were initially interested in having a presence at the event, but that both had to pull out for reasons unrelated to the show itself. VGC has since reported that Nintendo opted not to take part in the event due to a light second half release schedule, not justifying the event space. And apparently that is information that IGN can corroborate. So Nintendo might just have a really light second half of the year for 2023. They might not have enough games to really showcase at an E3 event. We, of course, do have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom happening this year, and that game's probably big enough to satisfy me personally as far as Nintendo stuff goes. So even if the later half of the year is light, I would still say this is probably a good year for Nintendo. Plus, Pikmin 4 is happening. I'm also very excited about that. So I'm curious if Pikmin 4 could actually release either before Tears of the Kingdom or before E3 or something. Maybe it's actually in the first half of the year. We don't have a date for that game yet. I was suspecting it would happen after Tears of the Kingdom since we didn't have a date for that, and we do have a date for Tears of the Kingdom, but who knows now? I would, of course, be happy to get Pikmin 4 as quickly as possible here, but if there's just Pikmin 4 at the beginning of the year, then Tears of the Kingdom in the middle, and then who knows for the end half of the year, maybe Pokemon DLC? I don't know what a light second half of the year for Nintendo could look like, but Pikmin 4 and Tears of the Kingdom should be enough to, again, satisfy me personally as far as Nintendo stuff goes for 2023. Alright, and then the other big leak right now is actually coming from LEGO. This website, Promo Bricks, wrote about how there is a LEGO leak right now that actually has a Legend of Zelda Lego apparently on it. Promo Bricks is a German website, but I have it translated here, and it says, "You can read often enough here in the blog that LEGO leaks are not uncommon. We can usually tell you a few months in advance which sets we can all look forward to in the future. Sometimes we can even announce the return of beloved-themed worlds, such as LEGO Lord of the Rings or LEGO Indiana Jones. What has happened in the last few days surprised even us, because there is an alleged leak that is a lot bigger than anything that has happened before. Flashback. Last weekend, user Jean Grey Forever drew attention to himself on the Eurobricks forum by claiming to have found out about the existence of several new large sets. We spoke to the user and the background of the leak for you. As Jean Grey Forever explained to us, he wanted to take part in a paid survey on a website. By chance, probably due to the fact he fits into the target group, he was given a LEGO survey. The survey included different sets, existing and still in development. Participants were asked to indicate how much they would be willing to pay for each set. A certain price range was specified for this, as well as an exact price for which the set would probably be offered. And then there's a list of a bunch of these sets that were on the survey. And among the list is a set titled The Legend of Zelda 2-in-1 Deku Tree. So this was just on a survey. These are not officially confirmed to actually be happening for sure, but they are apparently the sets that are on the survey that they're gauging to see what an audience might pay for them. There are leaked images of these sets. I'm only going to talk about the 2-in-1 Deku Tree Legend of Zelda set in this video, but the leaked images are floating around the internet. I have seen them. I'm not going to show them here because they say confidential. It's like stamped all over them, but I will talk about the description of the Deku Tree set. The Legend of Zelda 2-in-1 Deku Tree. Now we come to a set that should please many video game fans, since it became known that LEGO has entered into a larger partnership with Nintendo. Many have wanted one or more sets for The Legend of Zelda. As the current LEGO leak shows us, such a set is already being developed by the Danes. This is the legendary Deku Tree, and even as a 2-in-1 set, the tree can be built once in the design of the game, Ocarina of Time, with green leaves, and once in the style of Breath of the Wild with mostly pink foliage. The design of the tree itself is also fundamentally different, so you probably don't just have to swap out the leaves, but build the tree from scratch if you decide to go with the other version. Both times, however, the tree stands on a black base comparable to the sets of the Diorama collection. A tile with a Zelda print is attached to the front. Minifigures include Link in a green outfit with medium legs based on his appearance in Ocarina of Time, and Link and Zelda with normal legs and blue outfits as in Breath of the Wild. In the Breath of the Wild version of the tree, Mironis can also be built from the parts. Mironis, I believe, is actually Hestu. I don't know who Mironis is, but Hestu is on the set. I've seen it. Parts, $1,920. Price range, $200 to $325. Most likely price, $250. Alright, so that's pretty cool. I am a huge fan of Legend of Zelda. I really like Legos. When I was a kid, I'd actually take the Knights Legos, and I remember taking the like Robin Hood hat and turning it backwards on a minifigure and pretending it was Link with his green pointed hat. And I'm very happy to hear that there would be minifigures in the Legend of Zelda set. Because one thing I really don't like about the Mario sets they gave us is the design of like Mario and Luigi and stuff. They just don't really remind me of Lego that much. It feels like its own separate, different thing. I'd much rather have gotten Mario minifigures. LEGO had actually recently put out a statement requesting that fans stop submitting ideas for LEGO sets based on The Legend of Zelda, suggesting maybe they were officially going to make a Legend of Zelda set and didn't need fan ideas anymore. Anyway, this was all just coming from a survey, so we'll have to wait and see if we actually get Zelda LEGOs officially announced at some point, but I really hope we do. Alright, and then next up there's a rumor because of a new patent that is suggesting that Pokemon Sleep may still be in development. So if you've given up hope on Pokemon Sleep ever actually happening, they're apparently not sleeping on that one. It apparently is still in the works. We could potentially hear about it on Pokemon Day on the 27th of this month, as usually we get like a Pokemon Direct on Pokemon Day. And then lastly, Zippo has been talking about a new Mario baseball game. Zippo's leaks are very hit or miss. Sometimes they're totally right, sometimes the things they talk about seem completely false. But they have been right about Mario sports games in the past, and I really love the Mario baseball series. Mario Sluggers is great and stuff. I love the rosters in those games, and I love the synergy between the characters and the whole baseball mechanics. They were really great games. I really like them. So I hope this is true, and I hope a new Mario baseball is coming soon. The only real Mario thing in the future that I'm waiting for right now is the Mario Brothers movie, so I'd love to hear about some Mario games soon in a Direct. Though the Mario movie honestly does have me excited enough as it is as far as Mario stuff goes. We just got that new short clip of Donkey Kong fighting Cat Mario, so hopefully they're gearing up to show us a little bit more, hopefully in a Nintendo Direct, and yeah, I can't wait for April 7th. Alright, well that's everything I wanted to talk about, guys. Hopefully we're getting a Nintendo Direct on February 7th, but if we go past the 7th without a Direct, I'm sure we'll hear more and more rumors of a Nintendo Direct all month long until we finally get one. Unfortunate Nintendo is not going to attend E3 this year, and that they may have a light second half of the year, but again, with Tears of the Kingdom and Pikmin 4, I think I'll be satisfied enough as far as Nintendo stuff goes in 2023. And these rumors of Zelda Legos have me extremely excited. I have always wanted a Zelda Lego. I would be so pumped if that actually happens, though it is just from a survey, so even if it is actually going to happen, it may be a while before it's officially released, something like 2025 or something I could see. Anyway, if you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, feel free to leave a comment below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to Papa Gino's!
Twitter, Patreon, Discord, Twitch.